Everybody, welcome. Thanks for coming today. Today we've got Darrell Brammer, and he's the director of the Small Business Technology and Development Center in Warrensburg and Lee Summit, and splits his time, he said, between both. So Darrell's a morning person, which is terrific. So I'm going to let him tell you a little bit about what he does and how the Small Business and Technology Development Center can work for you. Welcome, Darrell.
Well, thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to come up and talk to you. How many people have ever heard of the SBTDC? A few of you? I know several of you have, but a lot of people have not, and that's unfortunate because we are a good resource, for people that are wanting to start a business or keep up their business. By the title, you think small business. Well, we're just working with startups. That is really not true. We're funded by the SBA, and the definition of a small business is anything under 500 people. So it's a very broad picture, and so we were used to be, everybody thought we were just small, and so we've kind of enlarged that. We've got some pretty good sized clients. I've got some that's 300, 400 people, and so it's a little bit misnomer. I guess for the first thing is I'll tell you what we're not. A lot of people confuse us. They think that we're SBA and we're a bank. We have a loan, we can get you a loan and give you the money. We have no money. No money. Yeah. So we do help companies get loans and everything through banks, but we're just a in-between person. We do not. We have no money, and so it's a little bit of a misnomer. One of the things that I'd say too is we try to either encourage or discourage people from getting in business. When I say encourage, if they have a good plan, a good idea, a good passion and everything, we will work all we can to help them get in business. A lot of times we have people that come to us and may not have a very good idea, they have no money, and we try to educate them where, do you really want to start a business? And so that they know what they're doing, what they're getting into. So it's either encourage or discourage. We do have a lot of classes that we have for starting a business. And if somebody hasn't got some business background, we encourage them to go to that class. They know all the licenses they need to have. They need to know the name, all the kind of the bells and whistles that goes with a small business. And we figure if they can come and spend $70 or $80 and find out that that's probably not for them, it's a saving of going $5,000, $10,000 in debt and just going bottom up. So that's some of the things that I wanted to get across to you. We're an SBTDC. Every state has an SBDC, a Small Business Development Center, but there's only about 6 or 7 states that have the T in it. We do a lot of technology. We work with some grants with some of the high-tech companies or entrepreneurs. So that's where the T comes from. There's Michigan, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, us, and I think there's a couple more other states. Like Kansas, it's just an SBDC. But we're all together. We all kind of do somewhat the similar type job, but so it's a nationwide group. Okay, this is our mission, West Central Missouri. The research and education, technical assistance. So we do have a lot of classes that we offer. We can actually bring them here, or come to Warrensburg. The biggest problem we have is just attendance. So if we have it at a different place, we just need to get some assurance that we're going to have a number of people there so that we can present with the larger number rather than just 1 or 2. We do provide counseling. Counseling is all free for anybody in the state of Missouri. If we provide anything above training or counseling, then we can charge a minimal amount. So you can see we're heavily on the education portion. You'll notice that all the SBDCs in Missouri are located at larger colleges. or universities within the state. There's about 10 of them throughout. With UMK, and some of them are outside the MU corridor. UMKC, and Columbia, and St. Louis are all in the UCM or the MU process. We at UCM act as a contractor for the SBA grant. Here's our vision. University Economic Development. We work a lot with the chambers, economic development people throughout in our different counties that we cover, and so we work together. Hopefully, they will refer some of the people to us that need help. We don't. We have a small staff, so we expect or we count on other people referring clients to us. We want to be a leader in the entrepreneurial development and creation of small business. Some of these are real startups. Some of them are entrepreneurs that got an idea. We help them out, try to find them some funding or give them somebody that they can hook in with. Here's our vision. The value of trustworthy business. Everything that we do with clients is confidential. If we want to do an article or something on them, we get permission. They sign a form saying, hey, we can use their name, business, that type of deal. It's kind of free marketing, but believe it or not, some people are not really interested in that. So we take it, one by one. It's a market-driven organization. As you know, a lot of things have changed over the years of how you market, how you go about, selling your product and services, and training and innovation. We work with the staff and the faculty at UCM to help us. Sometimes we use outside counselors to help us if we find something we need some help with. We do some ISO training, quality training. I have a former GA that used to help me that works at another company, and he's wanting to start his business, so we'll use him as a trainer. The SBA grant, where it comes from, the University of Missouri Extension actually applied for this grant about 28, 30 years ago, and they got it, and so we've had it ever since then. UCM has had it the 27 years down there, so it's been a continuous process. They give us a 50% match, and the university matches 25% with cash, and then 25% in kind. So we are a staff role at the university. So our check comes out from University of Central Missouri, but some of the funding comes from a grant through the University of Missouri. And like I say, they're all at the major colleges: Maryville, Kirksville, Missouri Southern, Missouri State, Cape, Columbia. So, and then UMKC is the other one that's closest to your site. Like I say, we've been on campus at 28 years. The SBTDC. The former director used to live here in Blue Springs. He used to live in the golf course area, and he passed away about 5 years ago. So these are our stakeholders: the Missouri SBDC, the state office is in Columbia, and then UCM. These are our primary stakeholders that we have certain impact numbers that we have to reach, and the SBA and the state office dictates that information to us. Here are the counties that we cover. Obviously, there's about 13 counties here, plus the Eastern Jack. So we usually go Blue Springs, Lee Summit, and then go east. And Cass County is ours also. So you can see we have quite a territory, and obviously a small staff. We need anybody's help, getting referrals, getting information out of who we are and what we do. And I'm the director. I've been there about 11 years. I came mostly from the pharmaceutical area. I worked at I worked actually in a hospital. Med tech was my background. Worked at the Pfizer Animal Health in Lee Summit for a few years, and then I worked actually at Marion Labs under Mr. K. And then Quintiles and several other research places after that. Kelly Dyer, she lives in Higginsville. She's more on the financial side. She's worked in the USDA, helping people get their loans and that type of deal. And then Holden actually came to us from Cerner, and he lives in Lee Summit. Our office professional, Shirley, she is from Concordia. And we use a lot of students for part-time workers. We can hire students to help companies implement items. They don't do the counseling, but they do the implementation. If we come up with ideas for small companies, one of the hardest things they have to do is implement. And the idea is no good if you don't get implementation. So we can use these students and charge a low fee for the work with the small companies. And so we have about 8 to 10 students all the time. They rotate because they graduate, and so we get new ones. Student projects, we do a lot. I don't think there's anybody in here that we've done a student project with, but we do student projects for companies. We want challenges. We want things that the company probably doesn't have the resources for, or the money to provide, or don't know how to do it. So we'll do some of them are what we call goodwill projects for companies that want to grow. I've got about 3 to 4 professors that I work with, and we do it on a semester basis. We have several companies in the Blue Springs area now that we are actually working with, and it's a great opportunity for the companies to get free work, but it also helps the students because they get a good experience. And like I say, not all the professors do it. They don't have to do it. It's kind of a luxury for me because I think the students get some very valuable experience. They can put it on their resume. I can see them work. I can, if somebody is looking for a financial person and this individual is an accounting person, then I can recommend him for a job. So it's a great opportunity. Graduates, that I can help them maybe find a job. And we're plugged into the economic development, the EDC chambers. Those are key people for us to help get referrals to and work with them. Help them provide some training that they may not have access to. We have impact numbers that we have to reach. The SBA requires us to have a certain number of startup companies. They're always looking for increased headcount, grants and loans, and then also sales. Have your sales going up? We use a baseline when we start with a company, and then anything above that, then we call it as an impact, and we collect that once a year. It's not audited or anything, but it shows the legislators that we are doing our job. And like the SBA is mostly funded by federal, so it's the federal legislators that we're looking at for most of the funding. We do get a little bit of state, but mostly it's federal. It's nationally recognized. Every state has an SBDC. We do lots of training. The NDC is more the financial. We do coaching. We help the Grow Blue Springs platform here, Boost Lee Summit. So we do coaching for those groups and those investors and those platforms. Angel investments, we've had some training with that, and we work with some of the angels in the area. Eastern Jack's got an angel group. Economic gardening, that's a pretty intense program that we can work with small companies to help them grow. And it's a national team that we have that we can work with. and it's systematic throughout the state. If we don't have the resources, then we can ask for help from other sources within the state. The big deal now is exporting. We have some experts, one down at the lake, one in St. Louis, that we can call and actually provide training. Like I say, the project pool, we are attached to the business school, so a lot of mine are business contacts, the students that work with it, but I've got a graphic arts. We do a lot of websites. We do a lot of logos, so I use graphic arts students for that. And the business students, their major is business, but they're really broad, so you know, it helps them grow if they can get some of these projects that they know nothing about. We are working with one now with the FAA to come up with a different name. It's more, you know, it used to be more just the United States. Now it's global, and they've got to come up with a new name. So we're helping them develop a process how to do that. And so that's a little bit challenging for the students. It's definitely picking them out. And then, you know, I get the best of the best students. I mean, I go out and talk to the professors and say, hey, you know, is this student, you know, I look for soft skills, you know, be on time, you know, dress well, professionally attitude, deliverable stuff on time. And so I get to observe them on projects. So if some company is looking for somebody, and I feel I have the right credentials, I'll get a resume, get it to the company, and help them out. Like yesterday, I went to a business in Lee Summit, and they're looking for some internships. It's actually a fitness center, and you know, we have all kinds of majors down there, so I have networked the professor in that area up with the company, and hopefully we'll get some interns up there and help them out. They're just in the midst of starting to grow. And so it'll be a win-win for business, for the students, for everybody. You know, and we've actually helped some of the students get permanent jobs throughout these projects. We actually had a company in Blue Springs. The student didn't work directly with the company, well, they did work with the company, but the company wasn't hiring. But they transferred the resume to somebody else, and so she got a job that direction. So networking is huge. I love networking. I love you know, getting people involved. You know, we have a large safety organization down there. It's probably one of the best safety schools around, and we do a lot of vibration, noise, dust testing free because a lot of the students have to have a project, and so we've helped several companies, you know, come up with that. They know all the standards. They know how to write up the reports. So it's a win-win. Electronic students, I've got, I'm sorry, yes?
When you have students that you match up with a business, do they go to the place of business? Like if you have a new product or service we're going to introduce, could you tell me how that works? Does a student come to the business?
You mean how, like a project?
Yes.
Okay. Well, what I usually do is go out, source the project first, you know, be sure it's challenging, be sure it makes it, and then we'll have, usually we have the client come down and present the project to the students, and then the students will actually come up and take a tour, you know, get more information, and then after that it's pretty much dialogue with emails, that type of deal. And usually the projects, some of them can last a full semester, some of them can last only like 3 or 4 weeks. So we can do it either way. And we always ask that the client would come down for the final presentation. And we usually have a written and a formal presentation, and allows you to have Q&A. So, electronic students, you know, there's a company that is growing, great business and everything, but you know, they're watching their funding very tightly. I got him an intern person up there the other day. He's working at Price Chopper. He's working in the deli, you know, way from what his major field is, but you know, he was just needing some money. And so it looks like he's going to be able to get on, work there. He needs an internship for this summer. He was having trouble finding it. So it's a win-win for both the company and the student. You know, the best practice is that I feel for the success is, you know, just have a good staff. You know, we believe in customer service, and so, you know, there's a lot of times we may pass on some things that may make us more famous, but that doesn't, you know, that's not what we are. We love, you know, helping, you know, people that have a passion to grow and want to learn. The attachment to the business school. In the business school at Warrensburg is a lot different than a lot of other business schools. We have aviation, we have criminal justice. So there's not only just the majors that are in the normal business discipline. And the criminal justice program is probably one of the best in the United States at UCM. And you know, I don't take all the students that want to work for me. I pick out the ones that I feel are the best. Referrals from some of the professors that I know are what I count on as being, you know, reliable, and so far have been very successful. Okay, I'll share some more of the stuff on training. Every year we have a procurement conference, and this is put on by a legislator. Used to be put on by Ike Skelton when he was in office, and then, you know, he is not there anymore. So this is put on by Senator McCaskill, and this will be in the latter part of May. So I've got some flyers over there. We don't have the brochures out, but, you know, save the date information. We have a software that we like to use with startups, and this is a 24/7. The banks like it. If they want to get a loan, this is what we recommend. Everything is consistent. You know, they put out the financials that banks like to have, the 3 years projection. It puts it back on the entrepreneur to come up with these values. A lot of people, several years ago, banks and everybody used to do it for them. They got timely and everything else, and we feel that the more the owner knows about the business, the better off they are. So they put in all the figures. It allows you to have the banker look at it. They can't change it, but they can look at it at their own computer. We can look at it if the client gives us permission, and so it's kind of a win-win. Here's some classes that I'll kind of pass these out. I just kind of got one sample of several. We do QuickBooks training for small businesses. Starting a business, we have those about every 2 weeks around. We also do some social media training. And, you know, you can see some of these partners. We partnered with some of these with State Farm, or not State Farm, State Fair College down at Sedalia. So those are the other things. We also are having an entrepreneur camp for 12 to 17-year-olds this summer, kind of like a baseball camp, football camp. It's the week of the 23rd of June. The cost is $400, but we actually have a scholarship from somebody in Warrensburg that's going to help entrepreneurs, and they're paying for 300 of it. So 3/4 of it's paid, room, board, and everything else. So there should be no costs involved. They will work on a business plan. If they don't have an idea what they want to start, we will help them come up with a business idea. They will work on a business plan, so when they leave by the Friday afternoon, they will have a business plan, already financials and everything else set up. We'll have students that will be helping them, and it will not be a week vacation. They will be busy. But, you know, we kind of put them through like Shark Tank ideas. I know any of you, hopefully some of you have seen Shark Tank. I know a lot of you, some of you may not think it's kind of childish, but it's the way of the future, believe me. I mean, that's the way people are getting funding. Right now, money is tight, and a lot of the entrepreneurs do not have any funding. The banks are not going to give them a loan, and so this is a way of showing some of their ideas and helping them out. I've got flyers over there. How you get into our program is basically, it's very simple. It's just an application form. This allows us to put you in the database, notifies you guys of any training that's coming up, and this is a way we charge our time. When I say charge, it shows the government, the officials and everything, that we are working with small businesses and helping. See. We also have a Missouri Business Conference coming up in October, and that will be sponsored by Representative Hartzler. And we usually have panels and ideas on, like, I think this one's going to be on strategies for startups and ongoing businesses and mentoring. And so what questions do you have? Yes?
The green application form that you just showed us, what exactly are you signing up for when you fill that out?
Okay, it just allows it, two things. It allows us to give you free counseling, but it also tells us that everything, once you sign this, everything is confidential. So we keep everything in a file, and so we do not get out any permission without, you know, the client knows about it.
And that's for a beginning business or a business that's growing?
Yeah. Anytime we have a client, this is what we have to show that we are working with them. Yes.
Where do you get those, excuse me?
They actually are online, or we can get you one. we can come visit. Normally, when we sign up a client, we like to go to their business or their site at least once early in the process. Believe it or not, we have had clients that tell us that have 25 people and everything, and we find out that they probably don't have any. And so we try to, you know, just substantiate that what they say is what they're really doing. So, yes.
The angel investors, what is this?
That's a group that if you have an idea and you need some funding, it's similar to Shark Tank. You know, you pitch your idea, and if they're interested, they can get a certain percentage of your company and loan you some money. And so it's a, you have to be, I think you have to have $1 million in assets to be a part of the member. It's a regulated group, and they have one in Eastern Jackson County. They call it Eastern Jack Angel Group, and they meet periodically. I know, you know, you have to have a kind of a business plan and everything planned and everything, and you know, a lot of them are looking for technology clients. You know, something that they can get their, and you know, they're going to ask for a certain, you know, like 10%, 20% of something of your company, and then they want to get that returned, and then you know, they're out of it. So they like to get some return, like, you know, 1 to 5 years. So a short time loan, but they also are part of your, they may be wanting to be in some of your management, they may be wanting to be on some of your committees, that type of deal.
Do they mentor you also?
They can. Mm-hmm. A lot of times they do. You know, I mean, I know one of them has been in the pharmaceutical area, and he's worked with a company that's, you know, something related to medical. So, and now several of them have been in electronics. You know, they've had some background in. Most of them are people a little bit older because they, you know, a lot of them are retired. They've got finances and they want to get some reinvestments. They know that the stock market is not helping them much, and so this is a way of utilizing their money, but also helping people get startups. Startups right now are the big problem because a lot of people have ideas out there, but most of them have no funds, and there are very few grants. I mean, there are some grants, but it's, you got to be just right to get a hold of them, and you have to have a very good idea. I didn't talk too much about business plans, but I know the bankers will like that. But you know, a business plan is a way of, you know, showing what your company, you know, what your products are, how you're going to pay back the loans, what you're going to do with it, all those things, and it's a necessity if you want to get a loan, or even if you want to get an investor. I was talking to an entrepreneur yesterday, and his son is 5 years old, and he told him he wanted to borrow some money to go to the ice cream truck, and the dad told him no, and said, 10 minutes he looked outside. He was out there, had a pitcher of Kool-Aid, and he was setting up his stand at the table. And he collected $5, for that. And, to me, that's great. I mean, we just need more people with that passion to do that. So, yes.
You're talking about passion, which is definitely one of the things that will help you succeed. But don't you think it's lack of capital that most businesses
Yeah.
don't succeed?
Right. Yeah, and yes, no doubt about that. And even ones with when they get a loan and everything, they usually don't put enough in there to give them a little bit of cushion. And sometimes they can because they don't have enough collateral. But you definitely don't want to cut yourself too short because that stymates your growth. But yeah, capital is by far the biggest problem right now. Well, we have tons of ideas. Some of them are not too good, but there's tons of ideas. It's just will they make it? Are they marketable? Is it one that's sustainable? And that's the, some of the key questions. And whatever you see on TV, don't believe a lot of it, because I mean Sunday morning when we're getting ready for church, well, I'm listening to the TV and they're telling about these grants and how to start a business and everything. Believe me, it sounds good, but is it really true? I don't think so. Yes.
So can someone come to you with just an idea, or do they need to actually have a startup?
No, we have lots of people come to us with just ideas. I mean, and like I say, if they come with an idea and they haven't been in business, we'll try to direct them to that class. But we talk to anybody. So we have some very unusual people coming in right now with different types of ideas. Some of them are very good. Some of them are not so good.
Are you similar to KC SourceLink?
We are, actually, Kansas City SourceLink, actually, they kind of source out and they refer clients to us. So we are actually kind of on the end product of what their intent is. So, like it, do I?
We save time by going straight to you?
Sure. I mean, that would cut out the other person because, I mean, what they do is they look at locations. If they find somebody that's in Clinton or something, well, they'd probably send them to us versus UMKC. The other ones, they may send them to UMKC instead of us. So I mean, we all work together. We don't really, I mean, there are enough clients out there that nobody should be fighting over anybody. There should be plenty of access, but when you only have 3 people and UMKC has a few more, but they have a lot more people to serve too. So there's plenty of work for all of us. So, and like I say, we do have a center of satellite in Lee Summit. We have a lot of classes there at night, but we can utilize the space in the daytime to meet people there, or like I say, we do like to go to the client's location at least once in the process to just verify that everything is what they say it is.
So when you counsel with a business, what's that usually look like? I mean, is there, when you sit down with business to counsel them, what are you normally looking at?
Basically, do they have the finances? Do they have the idea of where they want to grow, what they want to do, and just kind of the process and kind of help them through that process. And sometimes we have clients that just want to share their ideas and get feedback. So each client is somewhat different. Sometimes they just need somebody to bounce off some of the ideas and say, hey, is this good, that bad, and that type of thing. And we just give them our personal opinion.
So is there a length of time that you work with a business, a limited length of time, or does it depend?
We actually, that's one of the things that the SBA counts on is long-term clients. So, I mean, I've had some for probably the 11 years that I've been there. But, it's kind of what the client needs or where they want to go.
And that's free?
Mm-hmm. The counseling is free, right. Now, like I say, if we do if we do a website or we do some social media marketing and everything for clients and everything, we do charge it, but the fee is a lot less than a professional. Actually, so the big problem probably with most businesses right now is marketing, because the older generation doesn't know anything about social media, and the newer generation knows all of it. And if you don't do social media and that type of deal, you're going to have trouble. And so we actually have some students that work for companies, maybe 2 hours a week or something like that, do all the posting and everything for it. If you don't have to, it's not a real technical product, these students can do anything. Because it's just posting some information and everything else, and students can do that at their computer anywhere. So we have actually 3 or 4 companies that we just do that, and we charge them a certain fee, and the students do it. And then we pay the students. The students are paid every 2 weeks, just like a normal employee. They get it put right in their checking account. So we always take care of the students, and then we invoice the clients.
That was going to be my question, is how does the students, are they paying and how are they paying?
Right. I don't want the students to be, waiting on the money, and sometimes people are a little bit reluctant to pay on time and everything else. So we just count that in our budget, and then because they're never without. If you remember the days when you were in college, money is important, and it's the same way it was then. We have students from everywhere. I mean, we several of them from Blue Springs, Lee Summit, but a lot of them are from the country kids, and they make excellent employees. Good questions. And I should have said up front, questions are more where you learn from. So, don't hesitate. And if I can't answer it, well, I'll just tell you that. Any other questions? Does it kind of clear up? Like I say, we are, a lot of people call us kind of the hidden resource that nobody knows about. And because we don't really go out there and do a lot of marketing, we feel that the funding that we get should be used on the clients and not, marketing and a lot of other things that doesn't help the end product.
How do we get home?
We've got business cards over there. You can talk to me afterwards. So email. I mean, pretty much email is a good way. And contact your chamber or something if you need something. They can also get a hold of us very quickly. So.
Do you have a Facebook page?
Yes, we're not probably as good in that as we should be, but the problem is all these social media is somebody has to do it, and that's and if you don't keep it up, you're better without it. And so, unfortunately, we are going to get better, but we actually have a student project. One of our projects is to benchmark some other websites from other SBDCs and see what they're doing and try to give us some ideas. That's another good project a lot of times do is we benchmark websites. So compare your competition to yours and what theirs looks like, what yours looks like, and what the goods and the bads. You may be the best, but a lot of times we find out that that's really not true. So, but I'd say we probably have 500 kids that are involved in projects throughout this year. So it's not, they could be the same kid in more than one class, but it's 500 different individuals. So a lot of the times on the projects, we do something like the idol. Sometimes we'll have one project, somebody's coming out with a new product, and we'll do the whole business process and everything else. And we may have 100 kids on it, and we actually compete. They'll have 5 per team, and then they'll come up with whatever their idea is. They don't share with the other teams, and then they pitch it to the client, and they help judge. So we'll rank them 1 through 20, and see which ones gives them the most value. And the client knows what they are looking for, so they kind of help judge that process. And you know, the professors kind of they know which ones put in the most energy and all that team on the team. We have some that we'll just have like 5 students on the team, and they'll work individually. So different, you know, we've got one class that we've got 5 different clients, another one we have 4. So each one of them we do them somewhat differently. We're doing actually a company here in Blue Springs this summer, and actually there'll be 2 professors, and they'll be doing it 6 weeks one part and 6 weeks on another part. And we'll basically go in and take a tour of the company, interview some of the people, and then basically we'll be out of there and then ready for the final presentation. So each one of them is a little bit different on how the professors want to do it, and but it's a lot of fun. You know, we have some failures. You know, unfortunately, it's kind of like you know, every semester you get another group of students. So some of them are more prone to deliver valuable stuff than others, but we have had some pretty good successes. So. Well, thank you for attending. If you have some questions, I'll be around here. Appreciate all the good questions that you guys have had. Hopefully I gave you some information that you didn't know before you came.
Thank you very much, Darrell. If you haven't received a survey, if you will fill one out before you leave today, and we can use that information for our power hours to make those successful. Mike Montague is doing the May session next month, and that's a networking session on May 20th. Same place, same time, 9 o'clock. Thanks again.
Oh, well, one thing I forgot to tell you is we are actually going to have what's called a Blue Fest this fall with the high schools. And the Start Fest that we've had before, we're going to actually bring it down to the high school level. So it'll be at Blue Springs South, and it's in October. We'll get information in the chamber and everything and find out. So we have 8 to 10 different students, hopefully giving an idea or product or service or something. So.